this video, we will talk about some mathematical functions. Until now, we have seen how to use formulas, and we know that formulas are just expression, just like a plus b or a into b, whereas functions are predefined formulas. Function allow you to use descriptive names to automatically apply to the formula. So names like sum, average, min, max can be used to apply formula. So we just have to provide the parameters of these functions and they will calculate the values for us. So here I have this table which has record of 5 students and their marks in math, science and English. So if I want total marks of each student, I can either use the formula which adds these 3 values, or I can use a function which is sum function to add these 3 values. So if I use sum here is equals to sum. As you can see, Google Sheet is already suggesting me to use sum over these 3 cells, which is B2 to D2. Now if I use this using the tab, it will autofill it, or if I want to use it by myself, then I can use sum and then provide the values. I can provide values by 2 ways. I can use from this cell to that cell, that is from B2 to D2, or I can provide these cells one by one using commas. So if I use B2 and then separate it with comma and then provide C2 separated with comma and then provide, let's say, D2 and press enter, it is the sum of these 3 values. Similarly, if I use sum here and provide B3 to D3 and press enter, it's the sum of these 3 values. Similarly, I can fill these cells by double tapping, and these are the sum total marks of these students. This is how you can calculate the sum of the marks using sum function. The next function we are going to talk about is min function. We have marks of each student. If I want to get which student score minimum in math or which student score minimum in science, this is science. Let's rename it to science. Or which student score minimum in English. I can use min function to get these minimum values. So if I use min here, as you can see, Google is already suggesting me to use min over B2 to B6. So if I press tab here, it will fill it with the formula. As you can see, 55 is the minimum value. Similarly, I can use the formula here as well. If I drag and fill this, it has filled with the minimum values. 72 is the minimum score of science and it is 68 is the minimum of English. Similar to minimum, we have a maximum function as well. So if I use max here, as you can see, Google is already suggesting me to use max on B2 to B6. If I press tab, it will autofill it, and you can see 95 is the maximum in math which is scored by student 1. If I want to fill it, I can fill the formula. As you can see, 85 and 86 are the maximum in science and English respectively. Moving to the next mathematical function, we have average and rank. First we will see average. So if I use average function here, as you can see, Google already suggested me to use average over B2 to D2. So if I press tab, it is autofilled, and 84.33 is the average score of student 1, and I can double tap to fill this with the formula. So as you can see, 84, 75, 67, these are the average scores of these students. Now let's talk about rank function. So rank function, as we know, will give the rank according to the marks. So if I use average mark as the criteria, so the student which has maximum as the average mark will have the first rank. Similarly, the student with minimum will have the least rank, which is 5th. So if I use the rank function here, I can use rank. As you can see, Google Sheet has 3 rank functions: rank, rank EQ and rank average. We will talk about what is the difference between these 3 functions, but let's, for give you an idea, rank function will rank according to the scores. So if 2 students have same score, they will be ranked same. But in average ranking, the 2 students will be provided with the average rank. So if 2 students, let's say, have 4 as the same rank, then they will be provided with 4.5 as the average rank. Now let's use rank over average. Then we have to provide the total column. So this is the reference column where you have to compare the value 84.33 with all these values in this reference column. Then you have to provide is ascending or descending. So if you use 0, it will give the first rank to the person who has highest score. If you use 1, it will give the 5th rank to the person who has highest score. So if I use 0 and press enter, as you can see, 84 is the maximum number here and it has been ranked 1. So if I fill this with double tap, and now you can see 67 is the least and has been ranked 5th. This is how you can use math function. One thing you have to notice is that the Google Sheet is using dollars, which is absolute reference here. I only give the table here, but it is taking it as an absolute reference because of the function. In Excel, you have to provide the reference using the dollar symbols, but in Google Sheet, it is taking the cell reference as an absolute reference because it has been provided in the function. Now we will see few more functions in the next video. Thank you.